Scammers try to target all of us, but as we age, we are really at risk. Today I'm covering 2 quick and easy things that you can do to protect yourself or your loved one from a phone call scam. So let's do it. Phone rings, we answer. We were trained to do this from the time we were little, and it's especially powerful if you had a rotary phone and you didn't even know who was calling. Usually it was your daughter or your neighbor or your friend, and they're telling you something important. Sometimes it might have been work or the church or even your doctor. Of course you answer the phone. But nowadays it's different. Phone rings, and sometimes it's someone important that we actually want to talk to, but a lot of the time it's not. It is someone who is trying to sell us something that we don't want to buy, someone who's trying to convince us to donate to a political party or tell us what we're thinking about our vote, or maybe worst, try to scam us out of our money or our identity. So what can we do? Well, one quick and easy solution is to stop answering unknown phone calls. And if you do somehow get stuck talking to someone that you're like, hey, this sounds kind of suspicious, just hang up on them. Now, that might be easy for the savvy phone user.
Cap, I've tuned in a saboteur reporting to someone. He's tampering with the 8th Avenue subway tracks.
Oh, if I don't know what number's calling me, I just don't answer it. Or if I get stuck with someone, I just get mad and hang up and say whatever. But for older people who have in many ways been trained to answer no matter what, it is almost irresistible to do that when your phone starts ringing. And if you get caught up in a conversation with someone, it can be very hard for you to say, I gotta go, or I don't want to talk to you anymore. It can feel rude, it might be inappropriate to do that in the way that you were raised, and it might even feel like they just somehow won't let you off the phone. My poor mama said this a little while before she had her heart attack and strokes, that she would get phone calls and they just wouldn't let her stop talking. Of course she could stop talking, but it didn't seem like an option to her in the moment. Yes, we could try to train ourselves and our loved ones to not answer those phone calls or hang up if it seems suspicious. But there's some other quick and easy things we can do where we don't even have to worry about changing our own behavior. First, we can add our number to the Do Not Call Registry so that telemarketers can't call our phone number and try to sell us random things that we probably don't want. The number in the United States is 888-382-1222. If you want to stop phone calls to the phone that you're using and holding right there, just call them and they can do it automatically. If you want to stop phone calls to another phone that isn't the one that you're using, you can do it online. Now, this stops legitimate marketers from contacting you and selling things that you probably don't want. But it doesn't necessarily stop the scammers who can just ignore it and call you anyway. The second step that you can take that really gets at the heart of what scammers like to do is to stop calls from unknown callers right on your phone. On an iPhone, you go to Settings, Phone, and Silence Unknown Callers. On an Android, there's 2 different options. Let me check it out so I get it right for you since I'm not an Android user. From the Google Phone app, you go to Settings, go to Block Numbers, and click Unknown. From the Samsung Phone app, you go to Settings, Block Numbers, and Block Calls from Unknown Numbers. So that calls, when you do this on any of your phones, calls from unknown numbers will be silenced and it'll go straight to voicemail. So you won't have an opportunity to have to talk to these people. Yes, they can still leave a message if it's important. And yes, you'll still see that some number called in your recent calls, but you're not obligated to have to call them back. If you have people in your contacts, people that you've called recently, even if they're not in your contacts, or suggestions from Siri, those will still come through and you'll get phone calls from the people that you actually want to talk to. Now you might say, well, they could still leave a message and that could be dangerous. This is true, and if you call people back, then you're stuck with the same situation. But what you're doing when you're blocking their direct calls is you're stopping their main mechanism of action. What they like to operate on is one-on-one persuasion and time urgency. So they get you on the phone, suck you into whatever they think is especially important in order to get your information, and they tell you have to do it right away. There's no time to think about it. When you force them to not talk to you but leave a message, it takes away all of that. They can't talk to you one-on-one in that moment, and they can't tell you that it's so urgent you have to act on it without hanging up the phone. I made a handout of this information that you can download, and the link is in the description below. So if this was helpful, let me know in the comments. And if you do other things to protect yourself or your loved ones from scammers on your phone or otherwise, please comment so that we can all share. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.